Hello everyone and welcome back to another installation video. So today we have an installation video for this 2018 Traverse, and today we're going to be installing this chrome delete for the window trim. So this is how the chrome looks before the installation, and this is how it looks after. If you're interested in blacking out your chrome for your Traverse, link for the product will be down in the description below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So before we start, we want to make sure we have a clean area we're working with. That way the vinyl can adhere a lot better. So let's go ahead and start cleaning it. We're just gonna clean it, and all I'm using right now to clean it is diluted isopropyl alcohol. So we want to make sure we get the surface, and I'm gonna go around the edges. And to make sure we have a clean environment we're working on, I'm just gonna open the door, make sure I get all the edges. Now that we have a clean surface, we could go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna begin with the top piece. And so with the top piece, I'm just gonna align it first to one edge. Now that I have the edge, I'm just gonna make sure I have full coverage. And one thing about this is you have to take your time to make sure you cover all the chrome. So just take your time. Once it's aligned, just go over it to make sure it's in position. And we're just gonna continue doing the same thing. All right, now that I have it down, what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna grab my squeegee, and I'm just gonna remove all the air bubbles, and I'm gonna make sure I lay the vinyl down. So let's go ahead and do that. And with this, I'm just, taking my time, making sure I don't wrinkle the vinyl. And now I'm just gonna tuck down, make sure everything is in place. To help me tuck the edges down, I'm gonna be using a heat gun. So now that I have the bottom side tucked down, I'm just gonna open the door and tuck down the top side. So now that we have everything tucked in, the next step, if you do have excess on the edges, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. We're gonna tuck in, and if you do want to, you could use your blade and you could just trim off the excess. So now once we're done with the top piece, we're gonna continue at the bottom piece, and we're gonna repeat the same steps. So first we're gonna align at the edge, and I'm gonna be aligning towards the bottom to make sure everything is covered when it comes to the chrome. So now that we have it aligned to the edge and we make sure that all the chrome is covered, we're gonna grab our squeegee and we're gonna squeegee out the film. Make sure we remove all of the air bubbles. So now once we get to the edge, we're gonna grab our heat gun and we're gonna heat it up, and we're slowly gonna start adjusting the film in place. So we're gonna tack down the edge first. And then once we tuck down the edge, we're gonna tuck down the top. And so I'm gonna repeat the same thing towards the bottom. All right, now that that's done, we're gonna tuck the edges in. Again, if you don't wanna tuck in, we could always grab the blade and we could just cut off the excess, but I'm gonna be tucking in. And if you do have a little bit of excess on this side, we could go ahead and trim it with our blade. Now, once we have this done, our next step is to grab our heat gun, and we're gonna post heat the vinyl to make sure it stays down. First, we're gonna start with this side, and we're gonna align it to the inside of the corners. So once it's aligned, then we could just lay everything down. After that, we're gonna install the bottom and the top. So I'll show you how that looks like. And again, same process, we're gonna make sure we have a clean area we're working with. So like I mentioned, we're gonna start with this piece, and we're gonna align the inside curves. So let's go ahead and align it. Okay, so now once I have it aligned, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go with the curve and I'm gonna work my way out, but I wanna be careful that I don't create any wrinkles on the film. So once I have it attached down, I'm just gonna squeegee out the bubbles and I'm gonna take my time with it. So you can see, and I'm gonna continue making sure I get rid of all the bubbles. So I'm gonna grab my heat gun and I'm gonna heat the outside and I'm gonna start tucking in. And I'm gonna repeat the same thing to the inside. Now I'm gonna come on this side and I'm just gonna tuck down the remainder of the edge. And if you do have a little bit of excess material, you could go ahead and grab your blade and we're just gonna trim. And we do wanna be careful when we do trim to make sure we don't scratch the paint. With that, we finished the outer piece. So now, like I mentioned, we're gonna continue towards the bottom and then the top. So I'll show you how that looks like. So with the bottom piece, I'm gonna line it first towards the corner to make sure I have full coverage. And I'm just gonna line it towards the bottom. I'm gonna grab my squeegee and I'm gonna start squeegeeing out the air bubbles. Now I'm gonna grab my heat gun and I'm gonna tuck down the edges. And one final thing on the edge here, what you could do is you could tuck down the edge, or like I mentioned, if you do wanna get rid of the excess material, you could use your blade. So now we're almost done with the installation. All that's remaining is the top piece. So I'll show you how that looks like. Again, I'm gonna start with this side to make sure I have full coverage. Once I have that in place, I'm just gonna go with the contour of the chrome to make sure I have full coverage. I'm gonna grab my squeegee and I'm gonna start squeegeeing the air bubbles out. And with my squeegee, I'm just gonna tuck down the top. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna start tucking on the edge. So now that we have the top piece done, our last step is we want to post heat everything around the edges to make sure that the vinyl won't start peeling off and to make sure everything is secure. So let's go ahead and do that. So that concludes the installation for the window trim chrome delete on this 2018 Traverse. If you do have any questions, feel free to comment down below and we'll be happy to help you out. We hope this video helped you in the installation process. Please make sure to like this video and also make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to make sure you get future installation videos. Again, thank you guys for watching and we'll see you on the next video.